Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here in Southborough. If you haven't seen this show before, my name is Art Bergeron. My day job, I'm an elder law attorney at Myrick O'Connell, which is right up the street in Westborough. This is not about my day job. This is about my friends Frank and Mary. You've seen them if you've been to any of my presentations at the Senior Center, and their goal in life is to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if that's Southborough, that means right here, which means they want to know, like you want to know, who the people are and what the programs are that can help you live happily for the rest of your life here. So my co-host, Doug Peck, who has been in Southborough for a long time now, is always finds these great guests in order to talk about issues in Southborough. Now I know that Doug, you've got a famous local official from Southborough, but then you've also got some folks to talk broadly about Parkinson's.
Right.
Because that affects a lot of people. So Doug, where do you want to start, and who are we talking to?
We are going to start off with Emily Amico, who is the public health nurse for Southborough, and then we will introduce the Parkinson's folks after she has got an announcement, because she's going to tell us a little bit about the flu clinic that's going on. That's going to be a little different this year because of COVID, but just as important, right, Emily?
Yes, very important. Thanks for having me, Art and Doug. I wanted to talk today about the flu clinic, and it's going to be Tuesday, October 6th, so just a few weeks away, from 10 to 2. And our annual flu clinic will look a little different, as Doug said, due to our time currently in the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to provide the safest environment for residents, staff, and volunteers, we'll have social distance stations, and everyone will be required to wear a face covering. And we plan to have all the stations set up in tents in the Senior Center parking lot. Of course, we live in New England, so we may run into some weather issues, but our plan right now and our hope is to have our stations under tents in the parking lot. So I just want to describe a little bit how it'll look. Seniors will enter the regular way that they enter the parking lot, and then they will park in the back along the edge. So each place will be marked. Also, to ensure that we don't have crowding, we want to make sure that people book appointments. So the day to book appointments will be September 24th. That is next Thursday, and we have information in the newsletter that went out to seniors about last week or 2 weeks ago. And you call the Board of Health, take your pens out. I have a phone number.
We can put that up at the end, Emily.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yep.
It's the Board of Health main number. You can call on Thursday the 24th, and each letter of the alphabet is assigned a time to call in. So I forwarded that information earlier, so hopefully that can be put up on the screen later. But from 9 to 11, people with last names starting with A all the way to the letter I will call in from 9 to 11. And then in the afternoon, from 1 to 3, last names beginning with J all the way to R. And then from 3 to 5, we will have last names S through Z. And that's just so we don't have everyone calling exactly at 10 a.m. So there's also a sign up genius, and hopefully that can be put up on the screen as well. That's a link to be able to sign up online. But in order to make it easier for everyone, we encourage you to call at the assigned times, and we will get you into an appointment that works for you for October 6th. If there is an issue and you're not able to come on that day, you can still call the same number, and we'll try to arrange another time if you have a conflict. One other thing that I want to encourage is that if you are feeling sick or have any signs or symptoms of illness on the day of the clinic, please call to reschedule, because that is one of the precautions we are taking to, protect people from COVID-19 at this time. So if you're sick, please reschedule. And lastly, on the day of the clinic, remember to bring your paperwork, bring your insurance cards, wear short sleeves, wear your mask, and park and wait in your car until a clinic staff member can guide you. And that's all I have to say.
Good. Thank you, Emily. It's really important that everybody get a shot this year, more important than ever, because if you get the flu, you're just lowering your resistance and you're just more in danger of getting anything else, including COVID. So it's really important to get it, particularly as early as possible. Right, Emily?
Yes. Well, yes. So anytime from now until, I don't want to discourage anyone even getting it in January. So even if you can't get it till January,
get it.
Still should get the flu shot this year.
Thank
But I know pharmacies have vaccine in stock. So, if you feel more comfortable doing that, call your pharmacy, make sure that they have the high dose, which is specific for senior citizens. And you can have it that day, or you can schedule an appointment to come to our clinic on the 6th.
Thank you.
I can't wait to meet you all. So
thank you.
Emily, I just had a question. Is there a maximum number of people that you can see, so that there's if a lot of people call, is there going to be a problem here, or do you have the ability to accommodate a lot of people?
We hope to accommodate. We ordered enough to cover at all the people that we vaccinated last year plus 20%. So
Great. Great.
So
there's certainly there's a lot
on.
of people looking this year, so just curious. Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks.
and fortunately, I was able to secure some vaccine for school-age children. So we're going to add a vaccine clinic specific to that population as well.
Okay.
But can't wait to see you guys on the 6th.
Thank
you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So Arthur, we had somebody else that joined us.
Our good friend Pamela Francis, who I just was talking to yesterday, and she's just she's like Emily. This is all she does, is she does Zoom calls all the time. Now, Doug, before we start talking about the Parkinson's folks, can we also ask Pam if she's got any kind of updates for the next, what's going on over the next couple of weeks? Because I know part of the advantage of this show is that we really she has the ability to kind of keep people in touch here.
So what's important the next week or so, Pam, that's coming up?
Pam?
You're on mute.
Pam, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
There we go.
Thank you.
Like it was the opposite on that button. I just want to mention that we have got a number of cable shows and a number of Zoom programs coming up. We have a yoga class, which will be on Zoom. It's a seated yoga class, so it is open to everybody, all levels. We'll also be adding a stretch class that's also on Zoom. We've got a number of cable programs that are coming up. One is called the Early Roads and Trails. It's about all kinds of things in Massachusetts, and going along with that theme, we have something else called Bay State Phantoms, which is all kinds of interesting, and we did that one. That's coming up around Halloween, so there's some interesting stories about Massachusetts there. If you could put on your calendar that October 24th, it's something you have to plan ahead for, is we will be having a shred day. And that'll be held out in the parking lot at the senior center. So I think people have been collecting their items to be shredded. So if you could put that on your calendar. We also have a couple of cable shows. One is Elvis to Everly Brothers. It's a music program. And we have something else called 7 Steps to Managing Your Memory. So those are the things that are coming up. We also have a number of drive-throughs. The next one is Wednesday, September 23rd. It's a casino theme. I wish we were on a casino bus trip kind of thing, but can't be. So it's the next best thing. We've got some goodie bags with some theme items, and it is that lunch is lasagna and meatballs, and it is $5. And if you call the senior center, you can sign up for that. So that's what's coming up in the near future. So we
So
look forward.
Pam, we really appreciate you doing this. You know, we really appreciate you coming on, you know, just to keep people in touch. You know, I know they miss you. They miss being able to go into the senior center, right?
We miss them. We
And,
definitely
and
miss
Pam,
them.
can you just give once again the phone number at the senior center in case people want to, you know, call us, sign up for any of this?
Sure. The phone number here is 508-229-4453. And we are in the office at least 2 or 3 days a week. Other than that, we're working at home. But if you leave us a message, we will get back to you. We get our messages immediately through email. So please give us a call. Be in touch. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And Doug, you always get these great folks, right? I know that Emily and Pam have to go back to their day jobs if they need to click out, but we really appreciate it.
Right. Thank you, lady.
Thank you.
We'll have Pam send that information so Terry can put it up on the screen at the end.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. So now we come to the heart of the matter here, which is Parkinson's, and we haven't really talked about that much. But Bob DePeron is a good friend of mine, and a cohort at another agency called Right at Home out of Needham.
Newton, but close enough.
Close
Right
enough.
next to each other. That's pretty good.
And he's brought 2 guests from the Parkinson's Foundation with him, Samantha Cheung and Melody McLaughlin. So Bob, I'll let you just give a quick introduction and then we can talk a little bit, ask some questions about Parkinson's.
Absolutely. First of all, I wanted to thank you, Doug, and Arthur for allowing us to come on and say a few words about Parkinson's and Moving Day. And also wanted to compliment everybody, Emily from Southborough. I live in Ashland, which is right next door, and it certainly sounds like you have some great people there and resources and keeping a watch on all the citizens of Southborough. So it sounds like you're in great hands, everybody. But I just want to let you know, I've been involved with the Parkinson's Foundation for almost 7 years now. We're going on our 7th Moving Day. And originally, I got involved because there are a lot of really fantastic resources out there, especially people looking to do good things for Alzheimer's Association. But it just seemed like Parkinson's was getting less exposure and needed more promotion. We thought that it would be a great thing to be part of that. And the more it went on, the more I was glad that we did that, because it just opened up the doors for resources and finding out more and more people are living with Parkinson's or affected by Parkinson's in some fashion, including neighbors, people close to me. And being part of this was able to uncover and learn of so many different resources, whether they were in Boston hospitals, whether they were other professionals, and even starting a Parkinson's classroom support group to help further education was part of that. So through those 7 years, it's just been incredible as a volunteer, and just passing along to other professionals and people in the area. They appreciated it, and I just feel grateful knowing that we're just moving the word more and more, every day, every year as it goes along. And then getting to know Samantha and Melody, because they are so committed to the cause. Melody, obviously, with the great cause with the Alzheimer's Association before, and now she's come over to Parkinson's. And Sam, when she started 2 years ago in the middle of a Moving Day we were doing, she's just jumped on and she's done a fantastic job. So they're going to talk to you about a little bit about the Parkinson's Foundation, what the goal, what the what they're all about, and then say some words about Moving Day. And then at the end on the screen, there'll be information on how to get in touch with them if you have any questions or want to be part of it.
Good.
So that's me. The rest is Sam and Melody.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That was a great introduction. I've been fortunate enough to work with Bob for a while now, and as he said, I really jumped into Moving Day. I got hired 2 months before my first Moving Day, so planning a walk for 500 2 months before was definitely me being thrown into the fire, but it's been a great experience so far. The foundation, Parkinson's Foundation, was actually a merger of two foundations. We merged about 2.5 years ago, so our reach has gone nationally and globally. Our mission is really to improve care today and also work towards a cure for tomorrow. So we have Center of Excellence throughout the nation and the world, including Mass General Hospital and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Massachusetts. We work with researchers, we fund community programs, and as well as free educational programs. I'll let Melody talk a little bit about the programs now first, but I definitely will bring up Moving Day in a little bit.
Okay. Hi, Melody.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, and thanks, Sam, for that intro to the Parkinson's Foundation. And just to sort of demystify what Parkinson's disease is for folks, I know there's sometimes a lot of assimilations between Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease, specifically Lewy body dementia. So what is Parkinson's disease? It's also a neurodegenerative disease. It's a brain disorder that progresses slowly in people. It's actually the most common neurodegenerative disease, second to Alzheimer's. And it's a disease that affects people's ability to move. So most commonly people know the sort of motor symptom issues, the tremors, the shaking, but there are also non-motor symptoms as well. So if you're interested to learn more, you can go to parkinson.org, where we have a wealth of resources and information with more information on Parkinson's. I know our time is short today, but you can also benefit from calling our helpline, which is a wonderful resource for families who need additional support. Probably hear my dog barking in the background. She always does that.
He wants to get a word in.
She's always going to say something. Our helpline is 1-800-4PD-INFO. It is there. You can also find information in our Parkinson's hospital kit called Aware and Care. We know that folks who are visiting hospitals with Parkinson's disease, that sometimes can put them in this position where they're not able to move much, and also medication changes. So that's a great initiative we have for people who want to know more about Parkinson's safety in the hospital. My sort of baby as a community program manager is to coordinate our local education programs. So since COVID-19 came about, we launched our PD Health at Home initiative, which is a virtual program series online for folks via Zoom. For information on that, you can visit parkinson.org/pdhealth. That's presented nationally, but we also have some wonderful local programs. Even though we're in this sort of virtual world right now, we are offering programs in the New England chapter area. Our most upcoming in Rhode Island on September 26th, we have a Mind, Mood, and Motion program with some well-known speakers. If you're interested in information on that, you can visit parkinson.org/New England. But we're really excited. New England's a newer chapter for us. As Sam said, with the merger, the Parkinson's Foundation is still sort of in its greener stage, and especially our New England chapter. So we're really excited for this opportunity to share some resources we have here, because we're here to support people with Parkinson's. We exist and we're happy to help. So thank you so much for having us here today to share the word.
Can I just ask a question, Doug? I'm just,
Mhm.
because, so I do nothing but seniors. All of my median client age is 74. So, you know, I know young people, so and I'm hitting a lot of folks. Well, because you hit a lot of folks with Alzheimer's, but a surprising number of folks to me with Parkinson's, because I didn't have any sense of like how many people have Parkinson's, but then I keep bumping into them. Do you have any numbers regarding, say, in Massachusetts, how many people have Parkinson's or have Parkinson's that it clearly is symptomatic at this point? I'm just curious.
We do have those numbers. We'd have to pull them up, but generally speaking, the Parkinson's population is 1 million people actually have Parkinson's disease in the United States, 60,000 of which have a younger onset version of that.
I see. So that's a lot of people. 1 million out of 3. That's a lot of folks, right?
Yeah.
And does it tend to be to come on later in life, or does it like Alzheimer's, does it tend to be more a disease of older age, or is it really across the population?
It's across the population. Age is a risk factor. It's not a determinant like Alzheimer's disease. It's certainly a risk factor, and folks are getting diagnosed, and Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, often in their 30s to 60s. So that's a big range, right? But we are seeing younger individuals getting diagnosed. Like I said, there's about 60,000 folks who are under the age of 60 living with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, and to add to that, actually, I was able to quickly pull up our recent Massachusetts impact report. There are estimated 17,000 people with PD in Massachusetts who are older than 45. So that's not including any early onset. Our PD generation study, that is our genetic study that we launched last year, late last year, our youngest person in that study is in their early 30s. Their oldest is in their 80s. So the range is very wide. I think, like you said, the awareness is not just not quite there yet.
No.
So what, can I just ask you to go quickly, give us sort of maybe what are the top 4 or 5 signs of people, you know, that may indicate that they should get tested? Because there are, unlike Alzheimer's, there's better testing, right, though, for PD?
Yeah, well, yes, there's a, we do suggest that you go to a movement specialist, not just any neurologist. They specifically have a test for Parkinson's disease. And then if you go to parkinsons.org/10 signs, we do have the 10 early signs of Parkinson's. So tremor is kind of the first thing you think of, but other signs can be trouble moving or walking, loss of smell, trouble sleeping, small handwriting, soft or lower voices, constipation, masked face, stooping or hunching over, and dizziness or fainting. Of course, these can also be signs for any other issues potentially, but you know, it's helpful to be aware of those items.
What's interesting, Doug, is that there isn't like real one significant test that's going to say, yes, you have it. There's what's called the DAT scan, which measures the amount of dopamine necessarily in your brain, but it's still not a confirmation that you have it. So most movement disorder specialists, they diagnose it evidence-based on your symptoms and not on a specific blood count or anything of that nature. So it's a little different diagnosis than other diseases.
So I know it's not a curable disease, but it is one that you can that you need to see a doctor for, though, because you can ameliorate the symptoms. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any suspicion about it, okay, because the earlier you start with a treatment, I can imagine the better off you are.
Absolutely. And one of the non-pharmaceutical things when you're talking about medication, which is most important, which is probably kind of a good seg into moving day, is exercise. Exercise helps alleviate the symptoms, and it can slow down, and there's different forms of exercise which are on display at moving day and will be on display at virtual moving day. So maybe this is a good time to kind of jump into that and to see that that's very exercise oriented. So Sam, I think this is your cue here.
Got it. Bob is perfect with the transitions. He is absolutely correct. We have a Parkinson's outcome project. It's a clinical study, the largest for the PD community. We've been holding it for over a decade so far. And from that, we learned that 2.5 hours of weekly exercise is associated with slower decline in quality of life for those living with Parkinson's disease. So we have Moving Day, our 7th annual Moving Day Boston. It has transitioned virtual. It is Saturday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. Everyone can tune in at movingdayboston.org or the Parkinson's Foundation New England chapter Facebook page. So it will be looking a little bit different since we're not meeting in person, but we still want to come together for the Parkinson's community. And as Bob has mentioned, we will be bringing the feel of Moving Day. So that's including local stories from real families living with Parkinson's disease, highlighting community partners and wellness programs, and demonstrating PD-friendly exercises from local community grant recipients and wellness programs. So we have PD, Dance for PD, Rock Steady Boxing, which is very popular, PD Boot Camp. I've actually tried some of these workouts myself, and I get a great sweat out of it as well. So it's a great way to celebrate movement. The dollars raised for Moving Day go back to the free resources that we can supply and support the community with, like our Wear and Care Kit, PD Health at Home, and the educational programs Melody mentioned, our local community grants, our Center of Excellence, and our helpline, 1-800-4PD-INFO, as well as our research. We know that it's a really challenging time right now, and every dollar counts. We just want to let you know that we're not stopping. We're here to support and fight for the community. And if you can't donate $1, we'd love you to share and raise awareness. I think Moving Day is important to get the awareness out and also fundraise.
Mhm.
Well, I think that's, any other questions, Arthur, that you have?
Great. No, that's great. I mean, well, it's once again, it's certainly heightened my awareness, and I deal with a lot of these folks, but to really kind of get a sense that there are options involved. I guess what's most, it reminds me of, dealing with the Alzheimer's Association also, in that you've got a lot of free services, but nothing's free, so they're free because people are donating. It isn't the government is just raining down money on you. So Doug, this was really special to make people more just aware of how important this is.
Can I add just one other quickie
Sure.
item? I had mentioned before about that we run a Parkinson's classroom support group. Before it was in person, now it's virtual. And what the virtual does is it opens it up to pretty much anybody who can take part. And we meet on Zoom, and it's always the first Wednesday of the month in the afternoon. And we have different resources who present, whether it's a movement disorder specialist, pharmaceutical. We have guests that come on, and it's open to anybody. And again, they can be from anywhere. So I just wanted to mention that if anybody knew, any of your clients, anybody knows anybody, you can get in touch with Doug. He knows how to get in touch with me. And they can come on, be silent. It doesn't matter if they want some kind of support or check out some resources. We're welcome. We'll welcome anybody.
Great, good news. That's good. Thank you, Bob. And you can send that information to Terry, and she'll put it up at the end as well.
Okay,
We'll
thank
get,
you, Terry.
We'll get the word out there for that, because it is the one advantage of Zoom, is that you don't have to leave your house. It might be too far to travel otherwise. Now you can go get the information and really just, do with it what you need to do with it. And hopefully that will help people.
Right. You can get, and now with Zoom, you can get the experts from everywhere too.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be right around the corner, right? They're coming from all over.
Yep.
So I just want to wrap up by once again thanking the folks at Southborough Cable, because Doug, this is really, really important information for a lot of folks. And it's important that it's local. I think a lot of seniors watch these shows, and to really give them this kind of glimpse into a way to deal with these issues. Because if you're from this population, you probably know somebody who has it. You probably know somebody. So to be able to give them this kind is really a big deal. So Doug, thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, Melody, and thank you, Samantha. Thanks, Bob. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
You too.
Thanks always, Terry Underwood from Southborough Cable. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next installment of Frank and Mary here in Southborough. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody, and take care.